Welcome back to the Growl, and week 5 was another interesting week. One thing that happened again this week is another firing of a head coach. The Atlanta Falcons, after starting 0-5, has decided to fire head coach Quinn. With the amount of talent on that team, that's a bit unacceptable, but this should have been done a long time ago. The Falcons have kind of created a culture of choking under Dan Quinn ever since the 28-3 choke in the Super Bowl, and it's been long overdue. It's about time for them to do something, to move in a different direction. Now, in all fairness, the Falcons should be 1-4, but unfortunately, their players don't know how to fall on a football on an onside kick. And I'll be honest, man, as a Saints fan, I'm saddened by this news. I wish they would have just waited to the end of the season. But Adam Gase, you're next, man. Also, another thing I want to start doing on the show is I want to start sending some prayers, man, to the players that's gotten injured in these past couple weeks in each episode. The players that's been injured and that's suffered any type of illnesses and things like that. But I want to focus on one in particular this week. Dak Prescott suffered a pretty gruesome ankle injury in yesterday's game. What sucks about this one is Dak was playing on a franchise tag, and he was betting on himself, to earn a bigger deal following this season. And, unfortunately with this, this injury is probably going to hurt that. He's probably not going to get the contract that he was looking for, And I'm not the biggest fan of the Cowboys, but you don't wish injuries like that on anybody. So, man, I just hope that guy gets well soon. And to all the other players that's been injured this week, and the ones that's suffering, to the virus and things like that, just wish all these guys a speedy recovery. And yeah, man, with that, we're going to go ahead and get into these recaps. Now, unlike last week, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on each and every game. So, first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a few of these and do a quick rapid fire round and speak on a few things about each game. So, up first, the Carolina Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons 23-16. Teddy Bridgewater had a big game with 313 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Mike Davis has been doing a good job in Christian McCaffrey's absence. And all in all, good win by the Panthers, taking down division rival. On to the Falcons side of things, they start off 0-5, and their head coach is gone. So, that's that. The Arizona Cardinals smacked the New York Jets 30-10. Not much to say about that one. Like I said, Adam Gase, you're next. The LA Rams beat the Washington football team 30-10 as well. There was an Alex Smith sighting today after Kyle Allen went down with an injury. He didn't do much, but just the fact that this guy's back on the field is a blessing, man. But anyway, we all expected the Rams to win this game. Aaron Donald had tied a career high of 4 sacks in this game. Was on an absolute mission. So, good win by the Rams. The Cincinnati Bengals lose big to the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar didn't have his best game, but in my opinion, I think he lacks certain weapons. And eventually, I think they'll get him a wide receiver. Not saying the ones that they're bad. They just don't really create much separation, and they don't do a lot to help. With the exception of sometimes Hollywood Brown. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And Mark Andrews has his own days. Sometimes he has his off days. But good win by the Ravens. But again, this was expected. The Dolphins torched the 49ers. This was an unexpected game. I don't even know what to honestly say about this. Fitzpatrick went big, 350 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, which is a shocker to see from Fitzpatrick. He was magical today, man. Another weird thing in this game, Jimmy Garoppolo in his first game back off injury was benched in favor of C.J. Beathard. He threw 2 bad interceptions, which basically, led them to benching him. I don't know if he's not the starter moving forward. I'm pretty sure they're going to try him again next week. I don't know if the injuries had anything to do with that because I can't remember what type of injury he suffered, to be honest. That's my fault for not doing my job on that. But all in all, just, a weird game. Nobody was expecting that one. The Cleveland Browns continue to surprise me, beating the Colts 32-23. The Browns are 4-1 to start the season. No, their record is not backwards. The Browns are actually 4-1. And they look like they legit this season. I'm ready to go ahead and say that the Browns are a playoff team. Especially, with the addition of an extra team in a wild card spot. Yeah, the Browns look legit. And the Colts, all in all, man, the defense it's still good. But like I said last week, they just don't have the offense to match that defense, man. So, good win by the Cleveland Browns, man. And last in the rapid fire round, the Houston Texans win that first game after firing head coach Bill O'Brien to the Jaguars 30-14. I kind of had a feeling the Texans would come out and win this game. They made moves at the head coach position. And I think this team was, kind of giving up on Bill O'Brien. And, good win to respond, to show that you maybe just waking something up in that team. The Jaguars didn't have obviously didn't have the best game. They lost. But Minshew didn't play bad. He usually doesn't. He has his games. But, it's the Jaguars. They're kind of in a rebuilding state. So, all in all, man, just a good win for the Texans. And, hopefully, maybe this turned the season around, So, that's all the ones in the rapid fire round. Up next, I'm going to get to some the other games throughout this week that I want to go a little more in depth with. So, up first game I really want to take a deeper look into is the Thursday night football game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears. The Bears beat the Bucs 20-19, and this was a very good game. These are the type of games I really love watching. Both of these defenses came to play, and usually when you have games like that, the tension is high, and you're just waiting for that one team to execute better or outsmart the other team in that key moment when it's down to the wire. Nick Foles and Tom Brady threw about around 250 yards. Both had a touchdown apiece. And Nick Foles threw the only interception in the game. Like I said, both of these defenses showed up to play. And neither quarterback had a very good game. But if you watched it, the Bears were all in Brady's face the entire night. And Nick Foles just couldn't get going like that. He had some spots where he got hot in, but like I said, man, these defenses wanted this one. It's crazy because I haven't seen the Bears defense look this good in a while. We already knew the Bears had a pretty good defense, but they haven't been playing like this. So that's good to see. Maybe they could be dangerous moving forward if they continue to play like this. And, around Nick Foles, who can, come in, he's not going to kill you on anything, but he's not going to wow you, and I think that's all the Bears really need right now. So, yeah, this was a pretty entertaining game, I will say. With this win over the Bucs, Nick Foles is now 2-0 versus Tom Brady in their last two games that they faced off. But, unfortunately, Nick Foles is also 0-2 for post-game handshakes with Tom Brady. Now, I don't think this is a big deal. In my opinion, man, it's a pandemic going on. It's not a surprise. I would be kind of hesitant to do it, to go and shake hands too after a game, but come on, Brady, man. At least a fist bump. Show the man some respect. Weird thing at the end of this game, though. On a fourth down, Brady threw an incomplete pass, which makes it Bears ball. And for whatever reason, he thought they had another down after that. Now, I don't know. I've been seeing this. I don't think this is that big of a deal. Of course it's funny. We're going to laugh at him like, we would laugh at anybody else. But I guess what makes it such a big deal is that it's Tom Brady. You wouldn't expect him to make that type of mistake as long as he's been playing in the league, especially coming from a team that constantly practice situational football. So that was a weird thing at the end of that game. But all in all, man, good win by the Bears. I didn't think that 3-1 was legit, which in a way it wasn't. But still, this was a good win. Hopefully, this is something for them to build off of. The Bears are now sitting there 4-1, making the NFC looking like it's going to be tough to get through this season, which it usually is. But, man, a lot of teams doing some surprising things. The Bucs are now sitting at a 3-2 record. Like I said, man, I think now with the Saints playing tonight, I think if the Saints win this game, they might be tied at this point. But with the Saints winning the head-to-head matchup in Week 1, that'll move the Saints ahead of them. So, like I said, the NFC is going to be pretty tight this year, man. So, every win's going to count moving forward. And up next, the Las Vegas Raiders upset the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium 40-32. The Chiefs did not have an answer for the rookie. I don't know why I still think this guy's a rookie. Still don't have an answer for the guy Josh Jacobs. And Derek Carr had a great game, man. Dude threw 347 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Basically, he pretty much outplayed Mahomes in this game. Henry Ruggs killed them for 2 big receptions for 118 yards and a touchdown. I think another team, I'm sorry, is the Raiders that I'm starting to think maybe they're a little better than we all thought they were, They had 2 pretty impressive wins. They beat the New Orleans Saints. And to come out and upset the Chiefs at home, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I think I'm ready to start moving them up in the power rankings. They look a little better than I thought they were. As for the Chiefs, they made the Chiefs look human. Mahomes didn't play his best game. Made some pretty bad throws. And the interception he threw towards the end of the game just was really un-Mahomes-like, So, look, this is not a big deal. It's a division rival. But it does, it makes you look at the Chiefs like, okay, that team can be beat, which we all knew anyway. But it's cool every week, seeing, it's any given Sunday. But I will say it was a little odd seeing how the Chiefs struggled, especially not to shit on the Raiders, but especially, that it was the Raiders. We didn't expect that. We already know that the Raiders have struggles on the defensive side of the ball, especially within their secondary. So it was a shock to see that they were able to hold their own against the Chiefs. But like I said, it just seemed like the Raiders wanted it more. They're a more hungry team right now, and I like what I see from them, man. So we're going to move right on to the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Sorry, I don't know why I had a brain fart just now. Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Philadelphia Eagles 38-29. This was a very entertaining game, and I did not expect the Eagles to even keep this close. The Pittsburgh Steelers is a very talented team, and they've looked really good to start off the season. And we all know that the Eagles are suffering from just a disaster of injuries. But they kept it close, man. Carson Wentz finally looked like himself. Didn't have a great game, but when all things considered, this was the type of game he needed to have. On the Eagles side of the ball, some guy named Fulgham? Some random guy. I don't know who this guy is. Never heard of him, but he had a huge game. 10 receptions for, I don't want to get this wrong, 152 yards and a touchdown. Like I said, guy came out of nowhere and had a big game against that Steelers defense. That's pretty impressive, man. But the big news of this game was Chase Claypool scoring 4 touchdowns on his own. The guy went off, man. 7 receptions for 110 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also had a rushing touchdown. I think this guy's a rookie, if I'm not mistaken. Again, my apologies. I should do my job a little better. But, I mean, the guy was pretty much the Chiefs. Jeez. The Eagles just didn't have an answer for him, and he went off, All in all, man, like I said, pretty entertaining game. The Eagles are starting to look a little better, and with the untimely injury to Dak Prescott, they might actually be the best team in the division right now. So, and again, this is a division that it might take 6 wins to win this division. So, all in all, very entertaining game. Steelers, I didn't speak much about them, but we all know the Steelers look pretty damn good to start off the season. They're undefeated right now, sitting at 4-0. And like I said last week, that AFC North is gearing up to be probably the most entertaining division to watch this season. 3 teams, all with, 4 wins so far. So once they start playing each other, I think things are going to start getting real interesting. So, like I said, good effort by the Eagles. Wasn't expecting them to keep it that close. But good game by the Steelers, man. Good win. On to the next game. The only reason I want to speak on this game a little more in depth because of some of the things that happened into it. And that's the Cowboys and the New York Giants. The Cowboys beat the Giants 37-34. And as I spoke about at the beginning of the episode, Dak Prescott went down. Or did I speak about it at the beginning of the episode? I might be wrong. But in this game, Dak Prescott went down with a very bad ankle injury, most likely putting him out for the season. Sucks to see, but all in all, This was a good game by the Cowboys. Again, going against a division rival. Very entertaining game. Nobody, I mean, I'm not going to say nobody because a lot of people say, these games are usually pretty entertaining. I honestly wasn't even looking forward to even watching this game this week. But like I said, man, it sucks that Dak had to go down with that. Like I said, he was playing for a contract, and most likely this injury is going to derail that, So, like I said in the beginning, wishing this guy a speedy recovery. One of the main things I wanted to speak about in this game was it's nothing to do with the stats or anything like that. The New York Giants show a lot of fight in every game, except for, I think with the exception of one game they might have got blown out. But the Giants in each game this season has been very competitive, which is unlike the Jets, which is why I shit on the Jets so much. It's one thing, like I said, to say that the Jets don't have talent. And they don't have a lot of talent right now. But you can look at the Giants and say the same thing. Both of these teams are almost the same team, But the difference is you look at the Giants in every game, and they're in every game. The Giants was, a few bad, unfortunate events from winning this game. Which is, I didn't expect it to be that close, But that's been every week. The Giants come out there and they show that they are competitive, And that falls, in my opinion, under coaching. Which is why I feel like Adam Gase just has to go. The Jets don't look competitive at all. So I don't get what their excuse is when you can look over at the other New York team in every game, they're going out there and they're playing, they want these games, but like I said, you can look at those games and be like, oh man, it's a lack of talent. When the Giants lose games, you can't say that they weren't competitive. With the Jets, I mean, it's nothing. You can't even give them an excuse. You can't give them an out. And I mean, at this point, I'm not giving the Jets anything. They, like I said, they lost the one game that they should have won by now. So, like I said, I think the Jets are going to go 0-16. So, like I said, I didn't want to go on a long rant about that. But that's just one thing that I kept thinking when I watched this game yesterday. It's just, I understand. I know Giants fans are tired of, losing seasons and things like that. But I do think this team is on the come up. I do think they're heading in the right direction. I think the reason Daniel Jones gets so much flack is because of where he was picked. In my opinion, I do think the Giants took him a little too high. But if you really want a guy, you go get him. And I do think, this guy's going to be a pretty good quarterback. They're starting to work on their offensive line, even though yesterday they hardly gave him any time to throw the ball. But he is missing Saquon to take some pressure off of him. And like I said, he doesn't have as many weapons, So I think the Giants are heading in the right direction. Their defense played extremely well. I wasn't expecting that at all. So, yeah, man, I know Giants fans probably don't want to hear that, but I actually think this team is heading in the right direction. So up next, I'm going to get into the final game, and that's between the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks win a nail biter 27-26, and this game was going to easily be into the rapid fire round when I was watching this game until it got into the third quarter, and the Seahawks put up 21 unanswered points. They really struggled in the beginning of this game, and it just all fell apart. I've been having Russell Wilson as the MVP this season, and I was ready to say after last week and the beginning of this game, I was like, maybe, he might be cooling off a little bit, but this is how you earn MVPs right here, pulling off a comeback win like that. I believe Dalvin Cook went down with an injury this game, but I mean, Madison is a pretty good running back. He's a pretty good guy to step in. Of course, he's not a Dalvin Cook, but he did enough. Like I said, the Seahawks they're a damn good team, man. And DK Metcalf, I mean, at the beginning of this, right before the season started, we did an episode on the podcast where we were talking about the top 5 wide receiver tandems in the league. And I didn't have these two in the top 5, but I did mention them as an honorable mention that I feel like Metcalf and Lockett could potentially become one of those type of, wide receiver tandems that's extremely dangerous. And Metcalf, man, has been improving like crazy. The guys, each week, he goes out there and makes big plays. So like I said, man, at this point, I'm ready to go ahead and say Russell Wilson most likely will be the MVP this season. Kirk Cousins played well up until like the second half, and he started looking pretty bad, man. It's like the Vikings just kind of choked this game away. They looked like they were in control, and they got away from the running game, and the Seahawks ran away with it. At the end of the game, Russell Wilson did throw an interception that I thought was going to cost him the game, but I mean, hey, what can you say? The guy ended up winning the game. So, big win by the Seahawks, man. I think the Seahawks might be. I'm ready to say they're probably one of the best. Well, we all know they're one of the best teams in the league, but in my opinion, I still think the Seahawks is the best team in the league right now. I know people might want to give it to the Packers, and the Packers do look good, but I don't know if I want to see the Seahawks if I'm playing them in the playoffs, man. Or either week if I have to play them for a playoff spot. They look pretty good. It wasn't a pretty win, but that's what good teams do. They find ways to win, and they pulled it off. As for the Vikings, man, at this point, being 1-4 with the way the Packers have taken off and the Bears sitting at the 4-1 record, even though we don't know exactly how the Bears are going to look moving forward, I think it's going to be kind of tough for the Vikings to catch up with them. Not saying to give up on the season. They still have time, but they just haven't looked that good. In the last 2 weeks, they have been showing some improvement, but it's just the beginning of the season. But I think it might be. I don't know. I don't want to just I don't want to count them out just yet, but they're not the same team as they were last season, and it might be time. What am I trying to say here? I had a brain fart again. I guess it's just shocking to me, man. I really expected the Vikings to be very good. In our game before this game, and on our episodes before starting the season, we both spoke about how we thought the Vikings were going to be the best team in that division. After Kirk Cousins, got the big win in New Orleans in a playoff game, the Vikings looked really good. They just had ran into a better team the following week. So we thought we would see some improvement this season, but they regressed. They don't look as good as they did. And Kirk Cousins hasn't been playing as well as he played last season, which is, kind of sad. They're paying him this much money. And with the roster that the Vikings have, you kind of expect them to, be having a better season than they've been having so far. So I do understand that this has been a weird one. But hey, they got to do better, man. Like I said, good win by the Seahawks. Russell Wilson has been on a mission this season, and I expect them to keep it up. So with that, that's all the Week 5. Well, that's not all the Week 5 games. Tonight we do have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost called them San Diego. And a quick thing on that one, there was news that Michael Thomas and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got into an altercation at practice. This is not the first time this has happened. It's been reported that this happened last season too, before a Seahawks game. But it led to Michael Thomas being suspended, basically. I think he might have, went at some of the coaches and maybe in a disrespectful manner, which led them to, holding them out for another game. I'll be honest with you. Hate to hear stuff like that, but in all honesty, I didn't think Michael Thomas needed to come back anyway. We go into a bye week next week. So let him sit out another week anyway. That's the best player on our offense. Well, Kamara, but it's our $100 million wide receiver. Let him sit out. No sense of no re-injuring anything. Give him a break. So we'll see how that plays out tonight. But that's all I got for Week 5 so far, man. We're gonna be coming back and recapping the following games after they happen. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow us over on social media. We're trying to become more active over there. And that's just a way to keep in touch with us. If you want to have any suggestions or any thoughts that you want to share with us, drop them down in the comment section below and hit us up over on Twitter and Instagram. But with that, I'm out.